Hey Mena Warriors, welcome back to my channel. This is Kate, and this is where you can expect a weekly video from me every single Monday to serve you where you are in life. Today I'm going to be talking about the 4 diet myths that you should drop right now. When I talk about diet, if I'm referring to weight loss diet, I will say weight loss diet. I think a lot of people get misled with the word diet, think it means the restrictive kind of diet. When I refer to diet, it's kind of what you eat and drink normally, sort of what is your diet like, rather than what is your weight loss diet like. So I just wanted to sort of clarify that. If this is the first time that you've come across me, welcome. I do a weekly video. You can also find me on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook at Kate Hartley UK. I have followed a natural menopause route. I have nothing against HRT. I've not used it myself. I know it's helped a lot of women really, really well if they need it. But I do share a lot of lifestyle type changes and tips and strategies that you can employ to see if that will improve your trip through menopause. Regardless, actually, if you're taking HRT, the lifestyle things that I refer to are still going to help you in your menopausal journey. So just bear that in mind. I've been listening to some really good stuff recently, all about gut health. I'm absolutely fascinated in gut microbes. They have such a profound, an important effect on our mental health and our immune system and just our general functioning. I have also been listening to an audiobook by Tim Spector called The Diet Myth. I nearly forgot it. And he's also written a new book called Spoon-Fed. Check him out. He's fantastic. There's loads of him on YouTube and stuff for doing his podcasts and various interviews. But he's thankfully talking about the importance of gut microbiomes on our health in general, but also how they, how we can use that understanding to help our path through the menopause. Because when I talk to ladies, whether it's in my fit community or people just messaging me and they're saying, my problem is I cannot lose weight. You might have found that your bum cheeks are getting a bit like sort of withered up or droopy, and the fat is suddenly depositing around your waist. That is probably the most common complaint that women come to me with. That and anxiety, actually. Anxiety is another big one through menopause. You have to understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to this. But when you start to understand how the gut microbes can have a positive or a negative impact on you, it just gives you an element of control of becoming a super sleuth, actually. Regardless of what you learn today, keep a food journal so that you can understand what foods you eat have an effect on you. Do they make you feel sluggish after you've eaten? Do they make you feel energized? Do you get bloating in the night after you've had them? Do you feel ratty or antsy or cross? Do they set off hot flushes? Do they set off anxiety? It's amazing. When I know it's a bit of a pain, but you would learn so much from it, because Tim Spector's done lots of tests on identical twins. So genetically, they're the same, but they've had different responses. Some have gone obese, some of them, one twin's obese, the other one has stayed slim. But they're genetically the same. So how can that be? It's gut microbes. It's what goes on inside our gut. And if we know how to create and maintain a healthy gut system, then it's going to have such a positive impact on the rest of our lives. 90% of our serotonin, one of our feel-good hormones, gets created in the gut, not in the brain. 50% of our dopamine, another of our reward hormones, gets created in the gut. It is profoundly important to understand how the bacteria in our guts has a positive impact or it can have a positive impact on how we live our lives. So firstly, in menopause, the things you really need to make sure you're getting plenty of are B vitamins. They help with our nervous system, so they will help you with mood swings, brain fog, that kind of thing. Magnesium is good for your bone health and also helps to keep you calmer, and also can help with hot flushes, as is vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of those things that it has a positive impact on literally everything: heart, immune, kidney function, so much, depression, bone strength, irritability. If you can get 20 to 30 minutes outside every day, you're going to be doing yourself a big favor. And iron levels, you might be perimenopausal, you might be having really heavy periods, prolonged periods, very short period of time in between your periods. If you're feeling very fatigued, sluggish, you might be anemic, you might have low iron levels, so make sure you go and get those checked out as well. So this is not just about talking about one nutrient, it's taking a multifaceted approach to your health and understanding that we are being deliberately misled by the food industry. We are being deliberately misled by calorie counting. Calorie counting is one of those myths that I'll be covering in a little while. In the 70s, you would be hard pushed, if we looked at a film from the 70s or a photo of the 70s, you'd be hard pushed to see an obese person. Now they're everywhere. That sounds awful. I should say we are everywhere. Obesity is huge nowadays. It's become a real problem, healthcare problem. And I'm going to quickly follow up with the fact that it's not your fault. There are people in white coats in labs designing food to make it addictive. And then you go out into the supermarket and you think, there's something that looks really healthy. It's got a gym on it. It says natural. It says low sugar or low salt. Low sugar and low salt in comparison to what? It's got macronutrients on the front of it in big letters. That must mean it's healthy, doesn't it? It's so hard to eat healthily. What was it? Special K with the red berries, with that lady in the red bikini who used to do that pose. And we all thought, oh, Special K, I'll go and eat some of that then. It's so high in sugar. It's sugar that's the problem. It's not fat. I remember as a little girl, we used to eat the cream off the milk. We just used to eat normal food. It was all home cooked food. And now it's just like, we've become this society that eats microwave meals. We eat ultra processed foods, even though they say they're super healthy, they're not. They've got ingredients in them that you probably can't pronounce and you probably don't understand what they are. If you go shopping and you want to help your gut microbes, don't buy packaged food. Don't buy the microwave meals. It's a misnomer that it costs a lot to eat healthily. It doesn't. You can buy an extra large chicken for £3.50. Roast it, slow roast it. It will make you a week's worth of various foods. You can buy a bag of frozen vegetables for under 50p. I know I do this weekly for my dogs. I make their dog food because it works out so much better and it's healthier for them. You can buy a big bag of dried bulgur wheat, a big bag of quinoa, a big bag of brown rice for a fraction of what these little microwave meals. I saw one earlier, it was £2.50. It did have a picture of a gym on it. It's probably a healthy one. I know it's frustrating and I know it's hard and you're probably busy and you're tired and you can't be bothered. However, 2 hours or an hour and a half of meal prep once a week will save you money. It'll save you time in the long run. It'll save you making bad food choices through the week because you've always got something on hand to eat that's healthy, that you've prepared from home. Promise you. Factor in the cost of a prescription. How much are those these days? A tenner, something around that, and just under a tenner. How many prescriptions do you have to have a month? Food is medicine. It really is medicine, and it's vitally important that we understand the impact that food has on us. Now, we are all different too. So what might work for you may not work for somebody else. So going back to the identical twins that Tim Spector has analysed, that one might be obese and one might be slim, given the same caloric intake and the same exercise level, etc., etc. That is largely down to their gut bacteria that makes them handle different food groups better. So, you've got like the paleo diet, Atkins diet, keto, cabbage soup diet, those sorts of things. We should be eating a wide range of foods, but it's down to ideally you to become the super sleuth to work out which foods work best for you. I know I can eat fats quite well. I eat a lot of healthy fats. I always have done. I seem to metabolize them quite well. I metabolize alcohol quite well. What in our gut bacteria makes somebody be able to drink wine and beer and enjoy it, and somebody drink wine and beer and become addicted to it? Why? How does that happen? I think there's still a lot of studies going on about that. I don't think anyone actually really knows. but the chances are it's linked to our response, the blood sugars and the dopamine, the reward system and things like that, that are largely related to what goes on in here. You know, in the 70s, we had all the fats, and then they suddenly stopped and they went on low fat everything. So they filled it with sugar because food without fat just tasted vile and felt vile. So they put sugar in it. Sugar is the problem. Refined foods, ultra processed foods are the problem. And the fact that it's designed to be addictive. These foods are designed to be addictive. There is a story, I'll tell you quickly. Tim Spector used this on his son, poor boy. They were going to do it for 30 days, and his son was only allowed to eat junk food from one of the, you know, places that we all know. And by day 4, this boy was begging his father because he felt so wretched to be able to eat something healthy. And Tim said, no, let's eke it out until day 10 then. So they did it for 10 days. When Tim tested his gut bacteria after this experiment, the boy had lost over 40% of the gut microbes that he had prior to the experiment. But the scary thing is, it took him between 3 and 4 years to completely repopulate his gut with the healthy bacteria. So those 10 days had a massive impact on the next few years for that lad. I don't think either of them expected it to be as serious as it was. And okay, yes, it is just one study, but that's pretty eye-opening, isn't it? So myth 1 is that no one size fits all approach will work. You know, it's some people will metabolize fats better than others. Some will metabolize carbs better than others. Some will metabolize meat protein better than others. So some people metabolize alcohol better than others. You know, you've got a friend, you might be the friend who can only like have half a glass and you're on the floor, whereas your other friend might have 6 glasses and they're still fine. They're still standing and, you know, having a good time. We all are entirely different. Myth 2 is that calories are not equal. This drives me nuts with those calorie counting systems. A calorie from a donut is entirely different from a calorie from an avocado. Bearing in mind also, if you rated the avocado against the donut, the avocado's probably got more calories in. So on those calorie counting systems, you choose the donut over the avocado. Well, that's just, well, you might as well tie your noose now. It's ridiculous. An avocado is full of fiber and essential fats, vitamins and minerals. It's good for you. Doesn't spike your blood sugar. A donut, well, you might as well go and sit under when the nuclear bomb pops off, because technically that's what you're doing to your insides. You're not helping yourself at all by just calorie counting. Calorie counting, I'm amazed that those systems are still out there. I really am. But no, calories are not equal. So just bear that in mind. Calories from wholesome foods, fruits, vegetables, meats. And I've got whether you're vegan or non-vegan, this is just literally about, you know, if it's a natural product. If you eat meat, I really would advise you to eat less meat, and when you do eat meat, maybe eat organic meat, so you know you're not getting all the stuff that they pump into the non-organic meat and fish. It's hard, isn't it, to eat healthy these days, even when like you have fish. I've got cod on the menu soon. I plan my meals out every week, and we're having cod on Monday, and it's just like, is that healthy? Is it full of mercury and heavy metals? Am I actually doing myself more harm than good? I wish we knew. Myth 3 is that all plant foods are good for you. This kind of, I sort of touched upon this, like that packaged good that I was referring to briefly. It's got bulgur wheat in it. It's got herbs and spices in it. So technically, and it's got coriander, and it's got cauliflower and other bits and pieces that have been dried, garlic and onion. They're great prebiotics, but have them naturally. Cut your own up rather than getting them out of a packet. But it's also got all the other things in it that you can't pronounce and that you probably don't know what they are, and contains also sugar and other hidden sugars. So because it's on the healthy aisle, and it looks really healthy because it's got people in the gym on it, and it's got macronutrients, and you would think, oh, it's a good choice. Not. Buy your own whole foods. And then myth number 4 is that carbs are the enemy. They're not. They're not. We need carbs for energy. Fruit and vegetables are carbs, if you didn't know already. Fiber-filled carbs is what I call them, because they're high in fiber. So instead of having a glass of orange juice, which is not good for you, yes, it's got you, if it's freshly pressed, it will have some vitamins, it'll be delicious, even making my mouth water thinking about it. But it will spike your blood sugars like crazy because there's no fiber in it to slow the release when it goes into your body. Fiber is so important. So if you want orange juice, eat an orange. If you want apple juice, eat an apple with the skin, not the orange peel. I used to eat orange peel as a child, but I was a bit weird. I used to cook nettles as well and take them to school for my break. Yeah, kind of weird. But carbs are not the enemy. But again, some people will work better with carbs than others. Some people will have more of a blood sugar spike than others will after carbs. So going back to the sort of the fact that we're all incredibly different, I highly encourage you just for 2 weeks to track what you eat and what you drink. And the food guidelines that we've all grown up with are outdated and they no longer apply. Over 50% of all the meals we buy now are ultra processed. In Portugal, where they're really healthy, most of the time it's 10%. You know, you think you're doing the right thing by buying the packet that looks healthy. You think you're doing the right thing for your kids by buying the packet that's got all the healthy claims on it. We're just setting ourselves up for disaster. We really are. As a country, we don't spend that much on food. Talking about the US and UK here. We tend to gobble our food. You know, like the Mediterranean countries, they make a big deal about their food. They also live a lot longer than we do, and they eat a lot of healthy fats and fresh vegetables, and they get outside more. I know it's hard here because it's cold sometimes, but we kind of just have to rug up, put a good jacket on. Yeah, ultra processed foods will make you hungrier faster. They'll want you to eat, make you want to eat earlier. They'll make you feel tired after it. Yeah, the chemicals they put in these ultra processed foods make us want to eat more and make us want to eat more regularly. Try eating one Pringle. I don't like the things, but even if I eat a Pringle, it's just like, oh, I think I'd like to have 3 next together because of the crunch. There's something in it, it's addictive. Also, our food culture has changed. You know, snacks are now part of our everyday life. Just like the old days, we didn't have snacks. We used to have 3 square meals. You know, marketing has told us, particularly through the menopause, that we should be grazing. You shouldn't. Well, I said, again, not the one-size-fits-all approach. However, there are a lot of studies that point to the fact that if you can do fasting for a period of time, and I'm not talking like a 3-day fast, but for instance, you know, maybe eat your meal at say 6 or 7 o'clock the night before, and then try not to eat until sort of 10 or 11 o'clock the next day, gives your body, the gut microbes benefit from having a period of fasting. Also, it's good for your blood sugar levels. That's why also you don't want to be snacking too often during the day, because you never get your blood sugars are always spiking. Have one meal and then stop. And then have another meal a few hours later and then stop. Now, again, it's you might say, I can't do that. You're obviously one of those people that needs to eat more regularly. That's absolutely fine. But for a lot of us, we're eating way more than we need to. We don't need to keep snacking. We've all forgotten what it is to be hungry. When was the last time your tummy rumbled? Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? We've sort of forgotten what it's like to eat intuitively. I mean, you know, wait till we're hungry to eat. And we've sort of forgotten to ask ourselves through our meal, have I had enough now? Or rather than eating the plate, just like, am I full? I think I'm full. Oh, I might stop. I might leave that for lunch tomorrow. Look at the soaring rates of diabetes, or diabetes 2, and obesity. Gut health is so important. And we are talking about it more, which is great. But I highly recommend you read Tim Spector's books. They are absolutely fantastic. You know, it gives us the option that we ourselves can become our own pharmacy. We can do the things to help ourselves. We can eat the veggies, eat the fiber, reduce ultra processed foods, limit sugar, limit alcohol. Get the diversity in there, avoid the ruts. I know we tend to eat, what was it, like five regular meals always. How boring is that? Be experimental, add a new vegetable in each week. Eat more fermented foods. They're incredibly good for your gut microbes. Kefir, kimchi, kombucha. I make my own kombucha. In fact, if you wanted access to my free kombucha group, it tells you everything. How to prepare to make it, how to bottle it, everything. Message me and I'll get you into that. But it's up to you to find out, what do you feel better on? Do you feel better after eggs on toast with avocado and coriander maybe? Or do you feel better after porridge in the morning? What suits you better? By doing this food journal, you will understand what keeps you fuller for longer, and what makes you feel better. You do need to experiment. There's a huge variety between our metabolisms. Just keep it to a few basic principles. Eat more veggies, probably. Introduce fermented foods, and be mindful of when you're full. And also, if you're going to grab that snack out of habit, do you need it? Probably not. You know, in your 20s, you could probably eat everything and it didn't really have an impact. It's different now, we're getting older. We really do need to focus on using food as medicine for us, and remembering that everyone is unique. Even with identical twins, they have a different response to food. So I hope that's helped. Thank you for your company. As always, it's been my pleasure. And if you've got anything you'd like me to cover in a future episode, please drop me a message. Click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and make sure to follow along. And I will talk to you soon.